Hello everyone, welcome to Rep Sports. I'm Shorjani Chatterjee, your host for the pre-match live. Joining me today is Snehashish and Devashish. Once again, I really hope I don't get confused with the names this time. But today, KKR and DC will be playing against each other. It's a home game for DC. And we all know that DC have had a very topsy-turvy tournament. They began beautifully and then all of a sudden the team just collapsed. Out of the last five matches that both the team have played, KKR have won three matches and DC has only won one match. So I think that is concerning. But Devashish, I would like to start this live show by asking you a very simple question. When CSK plays, people ask, when will Dhoni play? When MI is playing, people ask, when will Rohit Sharma play? So today KKR is playing. My question to you is, will Patirana play today?
I don't think so. If you ask me, means obviously they would like to stick with the winning combination, which means that Queen Allen might just get another opportunity. And he did well. Means obviously the time he was at the crease, KKR scored 71 for one, and it was he who took the bowling against Sunrisers Hyderabad. Means that Pat Cummins over means actually he gave the momentum for KKR because Ajinkya Rahane was struggling during that time. So I don't see any changes happening. So Robman Powell will keep his play. My gut feeling, and obviously you cannot touch Sunil Narine in the kind of form he is now in, and also Cameron Green. So for me, but the question is whether KKR might just go to with a Manish Pandey because I think Manish Pandey in that middle order, perhaps they might try a Tejasvi Yadav, but I don't know why Tejasvi Dahiya, sorry. So I don't see, but again, I would rather think that they might just go on with the same combination.
Now that you've spoken about winning combinations, I think the match that KKR won against SRH, it was a very slow match. There was not much excitement, not many sixes that we saw in the second innings when Rahane and Raghuvanshi were batting. Now, Snehashish, my question to you is that if KKR would have batted first, and if Rahane and Ankush Raghuvanshi would have played that innings when they were batting first, would their knock be appreciated? Because it was extremely slow.
Yes, absolutely. I think questions then I think would have been raised, but if you see, I think that track was not that easy to bat on. I think SRH batter didn't understood the condition of the pitch. I think instead of going aiming for 220 or 30, they should have gone for around 180 190. I think then that score would have been more tougher for KKR because if you see the way they chased down, obviously at the end it looked like it was a very convincing chase for KKR, but it wasn't. I think they also struggled and it was very difficult, especially spinners were also getting a little bit of turn. The balls were gripping also, so it was not that easy. So from that perspective, I think they did well. I think, at this stage, more than the net run rate boost, I think KKR are looking for those important 2 points, more wins. Then after a certain point, I think they can focus on the net run rate. So I think at that stage, maybe that is why they went with that approach. But I believe that if they were batting first, I think they should have understood the condition and they again considering that okay we have to score around 190 maybe to put up a fight against SRH in the second innings. I think according to that, the approach should have been there. But it's okay. I think they batted second, they did the job, and that matters.
But I would rather say that it was the bowling of Sunil Narine
Yes,
and
absolutely.
Varun Chakravarti
Absolutely.
actually because the way Travis said and
They had a
Abhishek
fantastic
Sharma were
series.
going great guns with 105 for no one wicket and then well, all they needed to do is to just had that partnership carried on for a few more overs and they could have actually
Yes.
scored 200 or something around that region. But
Yes.
the brilliance of Sunil Narine, as has always been the case, he got a 200 wickets in the last game and Varun Chakravarti finally coming good in the last three games. So suddenly, all of a sudden, last three games with the spin duo getting back from KKR is looking a lot potent side.
Devashish, you've already answered the question that I was going to ask you next, but I'm still going to ask you. Is it safe to say that Varun Chakravarti is now back in form?
Yeah, they see, obviously, in this format, you might go for a run, but I think he has shown the glimpses of coming back to form. He is bowling a lot more slower. He is getting wickets, which was not the case in the initial stages of the season, where he struggled. The batsmen were going after him, and it started from that South Africa game in the T20 World Cup. So, with Varun, even in the last game, he got two wickets in his final over of his spell in the fourth over. So I think But yes, it augurs well for KKR definitely because they have that confidence now. You know, 3 wins out of three in the last 3 games, so they will have that momentum going into the match.
Now that we're talking about Varun Chakravarti and Sunil Narine, Yashish, what I wanted to ask you is that there is another spinner that we're missing out. That is Anukul Roy. I mean, when he came into the tournament, no one knew the kind of impact that he would have. He has been excellent. He has been taking wickets. And when Varun Chakravarti was not in his form, it was Anukul Roy who was supporting Sunil Narine from the other end. So, what are your thoughts on Anukul Roy and how crucial is he and how helpful is he to the spin duo?
I think he has done enough so far in this tournament, and I think he has been one of the top performers in the domestic side in the white ball. I think for the last 2 years, and that is why maybe KKR showed that faith, to bring in someone like Anukul Roy. And this is not the first time KKR have shown that. Anukul Roy has played previous times also for KKR. I think whatever opportunity he has managed, I think with the bat he could have done a bit more because he has that capability. He has done that in domestic cricket. He can win you games with the bat also. But with the ball, I think he has done enough. I think as a supporting role, because he is not a primary option as a spinner. He is that those 2 or 3 overs, to put that pressure, containing those runs. I think that is his primary role. I think he has done well, and he has chipped in with some crucial wickets also here and there. So I think as a supporting role, he has done well. But I would love to see a bit more with the bat from there.
Devashish, you have been observing KKR for the past few years very closely. You've been covering the practice sessions. Now tell me, how much has Kartik Tyagi and Vaibhav Arora impressed you this season? Have you seen any improvement?
I've been covering from the first season, 2008. But obviously, Kartik Tyagi has looked good, has looked very impressive. Vaibhav Arora, in fact, the top two wicket takers are Kartik Tyagi and Vaibhav Arora for KKR. But obviously, somehow I feel that there is a option of perhaps getting in a Matisha Patira. Means obviously, yes, if you look at the KKR bowling lineup, I think they have been going for a lot of runs. If I'm not wrong, since I don't have the statistics in front of me, I think Vaibhav Arora has gone for around 11 runs
Very
for
high
over, and Kartik Tyagi also around 10ish. So I think and today the match is being played in the same wicket where the Delhi Capitals posted 264 against Punjab Kings, which was chased, which they could not defend. So I think any and Delhi Capitals, I assume that they won't be giving a favorable wicket for KKR spinners because then obviously the likes of Varun and Sunil might have just have an upper hand. Because if you consider the opponent spinners in likes of Kuldeep Yadav and Akshar Patel, obviously things haven't been great for them, especially Kuldeep Yadav. In 9 matches, at least you can see that he went wicketless for 5 matches, and also he went for a lot of runs. So something unlike of Kuldeep. So I think if it's a high scoring affair, then you need someone who can give you those death overs. So that might be a concern. I don't mind if the opponent batting goes for say 60, 70 because that has been the trend or rather the template in modern T20 cricket. But the date over becomes very important because you cannot afford to go for say 80, 90 runs. Means then all of a sudden and around the 15 over mark you are 120. Then all of a sudden the late cost teams might post 200 and then the match gets out of that. So I don't want that thing to happen. So that is the thing that I concerns me. For us, maybe get in Patricia Patiran in place of Robin Powell because you need a overseas batter at the top in Finn Allen, but someone like a Patricia Patirana, I don't know what they will, but that what I feel because get him. You invested 18 crores for Matisha Patirana. You have to play him. You are making a mockery of your own decision.
Your game plan.
Game plan.
Yeah.
So the KKR bowling revolved around Matisha Patirana, Harshit Rana. Harshit Rana got injured. Mustafizur Rahman, unfortunately, he also had to miss out. But Matisha Patirana and Sunil Narine, if you look at the start of the IPL, Matisha Patirana, Cameron Green, and Sunil Narine were your three constant as far as overseas players are concerned. But then with Matisha Patirana coming, I think he got his NOC on April 12th and he joined the squad on April 18th. So that's a long way. But again, it's a double-edged sword whether the think tank will go for a winning combination or rather give an opportunity or make room for Matisha Patirana to give him maybe to play him as an impact sub.
Yeah, Ashish, what I wanted to ask you is that he was talking about the overseas players and how Pathirana should come in and Robin Powell should get dropped and all of that. But my question to you is, we have Cam Green as well. We have KKR have paid a very high amount for Cam Green.
Yes, too much.
Do you think he has performed? I mean, he has been very inconsistent. Do you see him in the playing 11? Definitely because of the high price tag.
Yeah,
You want someone like him to play. But again, has he contributed?
I think he could have done better. Obviously, if you go by the irrespective of the price tag, I will say that I think with every game passing, I think he has looked a bit better. I think obviously initially he was not looking that good, looking very scratchy, especially with the ball, even with the bat, especially against spin. I think he was struggling very badly. But as the tournament has passed by, with every passing game, I think he has looked a bit better. And I don't see him, I think, getting benched. I think you cannot bench the player, I think, of his stature, and obviously the price tag obviously comes into the scenario. So I definitely think that if you really want to make a place for Matisha Patriana, obviously it is very difficult because as Devashish mentioned that Rockman Paul could be an option that you can ask Rockman to sit down and to include someone like Patriana. But Rockman is also Devashish has scored those important runs, right? And the power hitting, because that power hitting is kind of missing in this batting lineup. So that is also an option I think the team management needs to keep an eye. So for that matter, if you really want to add Patriana, I think you have to drop unfortunately someone like Finn Allen. Then you can use someone like Cameron Green as an opening option, or maybe bring back Sunil Nair as an opening option along with Cameron Green, or maybe Ajinkya Rahane. Then Cameron Green, whoever opens, the other one can bat at number three.
Yes, if you ask me, I am not in favor of too much of a tweaking.
Yes, obviously now things
Now
are
that
working.
things are working, means obviously one change,
Yes,
straight away get in a Matisha
Yes.
Pathiran in place of
yes.
Rockman Powell.
Then that can be an option.
I think we've discussed enough about KKR. Now our fans are going to think that we are biased, which is not the case. So we are going to shift the momentum towards DC as well. Starting off on a very negative note, Devashish, Aksar Patel as the captain. How disappointing has he been in this season?
Yeah, very disappointing when you are a captain. You have to lead from the front, but means happens at times. Means obviously, as a captain, you also want your team to do well, and as a captain, you want to lead well. But that has not been the case with Akshar Patel. And to make matters worse, Kuldeep Yadav is also not playing.
Yeah.
So they have the firepower as far as the fast bowling is concerned.
Yes.
They have a Lungi Ngidi,
Mixed
and
up.
they have a mid star joint prince of
Yeah. But he has looked good.
mid star, and they have a Dushmanta Chamira, they have a Kyle Jennison
Yes.
waiting in the wing. So they have the fast bowling option. They have a Akib Nabi,
Mukesh.
they have a
Mukesh.
Mukesh Kumar. And but obviously their spin bowling department relies heavily on Akshar Patel and Kuldeep
Kuldeep.
Yadav. So I think, and that is where Delhi Capitals, even they could not defend 264 smashes on this on their home ground. So that itself speaks volumes, and also they got bundled out for 75 runs. They could not defend 155 as well. So lots to think about. Obviously, when it comes to their batting as well, apart from KL Rahul, none of them has fired consistently. Nitish Rana have been hot and cold. Means obviously he performed in one of the matches. So I think as much as it is a concern for KKR, similar concern for Delhi Capitals. I think that's the reason they are now in 7 and 8.
7 and 8, exactly. Nehashish, I think before every DC match we have this discussion. Your thoughts on Pathum Nisanka and why is he so inconsistent? I mean, we have seen him perform only in one match. Why is it so?
Yeah, I think I also mentioned in the last live also that with Pathum Nisanka you cannot expect that explosive knocks in a regular manner. I think he's not that kind of a batter at all. If you see both the openers, I think KL Rahul and Pathum Nisanka. Obviously, KL Rahul has improved his strike rate, overall strike rate so much in this season. But overall, as a player, whatever we have seen of both of them over all these years, they cannot be those explosive openers that we are now you are requiring modern T20s. If you see the other teams, Prav Simran Singh and Priyan Sharia, and the other openers also, if you see, Abhishek and Travis Head. So these are the options that you need. At least one batter should be there who can go there and score those important 30, 40 runs very quickly. Not like 20 ball, 25 runs, or you cannot have those kind of starts. That is gone. That template is gone. So I think that is where the DC is struggling, and that is one of the main reasons where that had back-to-back losses, three back.
But Snash is, if you allow me, why aren't they trying David Miller?
Oh yes,
He was dropped in the
David
previous
Miller,
match.
David,
Definitely. I was
how can you afford to sit out a David Miller, a player of the caliber of David Miller, in the middle order with a struggling middle order?
yes,
Ashutosh Sharma or Samir Rizvi or Nitish Rana or whoever is there in the middle, in that Delhi middle order hasn't fired. Means obviously,
absolutely. And here again the question arises regarding Akshay Patel, the captain. Akshay Patel, the captain, Himang Baldwin, the coach. I think the management has not managed to find out their best possible playing level. And how can you not use someone like David Miller, a proven player who has done so much time for different teams and in this tournament only. So it's very surprising that the team is still making so many changes despite having top quality players. And why not you going for someone like Abhishek Podel or someone like Prithvi Shaw at the top? At least they can be an
get
explosive
in a
option.
Prithvi Shaw at the top and
Yes.
get in David Miller. That's as
Exactly.
simple as that.
Exactly. Prithvi Shaw can be the explosive option at the top. He can maximize those first six overs and give you those important 30-40 runs in a quick manner. And that can
Even
set the
Abhishek Porel can also
Yes.
open the batting. He has opened for Delhi
Exactly.
Capitals before.
Yes, that is my point. Abhishek Paul is not a new player. He has already played for it. He did, I think, did well for the team. I think
even for
whatever.
Bengal, even for
Yes,
Bengal,
yes.
he has been
And he can
exceptional.
score quickly also.
Hmm.
So I don't know. I think they have quality players. They have defined options, but somehow they are still struggling to find out the best possible 11 for.
But we were talking about the middle order. I think the only player who has somewhat clicked and has been a little consistent, apart from KL Rahul, is Samir Rizvi. Devashish, your thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely. He has to, but once again, you answered your question. He has not been consistent, and that has been the biggest worry for Delhi Capitals. If you look at that middle order, Nitish Rana, Karun Nair, Akshar Patel, Kristen Stubbs, Ashutosh Sharma, Samir Rizvi, in that entire middle order, none of them has been consistent. And then that is where the biggest concern for Delhi Capitals is. Yes, but this is a very crucial game. Hopefully, if couple of those guys in that middle order fires, this is someone like a Nitish Rana. I mean, if you remember that match where KL Rahul got a century and Nitish Rana
I think
he
he
played
goes
a
to 90.
perfect ploy.
Yeah.
I think
He scored around 90.
exactly. So I think they have to pull up their sleeve and start contributing. See, if time is running out for both the teams. It's not just about Delhi Capitals. It still applies for KKR. If you look at the KKR middle order also,
Yes.
apart from Rinku Singh, who
Hmm.
has been consistent in last few matches, but obviously once again Cameron Green, Rockman Powell, they have even dropped Ramandeep Singh in one of the matches. So Ramandeep Singh, and now they have in the last match they have included Manish Pandey. I still wonder whether Manish Pandey of 2026, how
Yes.
much can he contribute?
And where he will bat. That's the main
Exactly,
question.
where he will bat.
Wasn't he brought in the place of Ramandeep? Because when Ramandeep was dropped, he was named as the.
But ideally, if you ask me, Sorjani, Ramandeep should have played because he brings he can bowl you those couple of overs.
And excellent field.
Excellent fielder. So I think Manish Pandey is
Yes.
so excellent,
Yes.
damn good fielder. But again, I mean, up to 2014,
Yeah, at this stage of his career,
and 2026,
yes.
Manish Pandey.
Yeah, there will be
When you have a Tejasvi,
yes,
Daya,
so many youngsters
Sarthak Ranjan, even for that matter, Rahul Tripathi, you have the option.
Yeah, now that he's mentioned about the batting order, I think what I want to talk about Delhi Capitals right now is there's Tristan Stubbs as well, who's going out there. He's batting, has looked a little rusty, but somewhere or the other he is scoring a little run. So do you think that the batting order relies completely on KL Rahul and then low down the order, someone like a Samir Rizvi and a Tristan Stubbs? Is that what you feel?
See, I think in modern T20s, you always depend on your opener. I think unless you get a solid start, it is very difficult to post those 220, 230 and target, or even chasing the mammoth total. So obviously, in any kind of a game, your openers have to give you a better start, and then you have to have two or three quality players. Especially at number three. Irrespective of the format, irrespective of the tournament, number three batter should always contribute and has to play that longer innings. Yes, the anchor role is gone as of now in modern T20s, but still he needs to chip in with those quick fire 60, 70s. And obviously you need a finisher. In that finishing part, obviously you are not playing someone like in some of the games, David Miller. That's the question. Christian stuff, I think he has done reasonably well. I think the role of his has been like that, you take the game deep from one end, the others can chip in and score. I think that has been the role, and he has. I think he won two games also. I think along with Samir Dasby and all. And I think one game with David Miller against RCB.
Exactly.
So he did the job for this. I think he has been good, but I am not happy with someone like Ashutosh. I think Ashutosh has not been that much consistent. whatever we saw last year. I think whatever opportunity then he got, he has not been that consistent. As you mentioned, some days we look good in 2, 3 games, but not consistent again. But again, they also have, just like KKR, they also have defined options, but they are not utilizing it properly. So again, the problem remains. So let's see how both the teams go with their combination movie.
We've talked about a lot of negatives. Now, again, we are going to move towards the positives, Rahul. Mitchell Stark. He's one player that you've mentioned that all of us have mentioned in the one answer or the other. But I think we need to ask a separate question on him because he has looked good, coming in the middle of the tournament and then performing and then taking crucial wickets. Devashish, your assessment of Mitchell Stark as a player.
Yeah, he's a champion bowler, no doubt. It goes without saying he's a champion bowler. And what happens is with former KKR players, they have always sort of pull up their sleeves.
They love playing against
They love
KKR.
playing against
And now
Nitish Rana and Kuldeep Yadav. So KKR will beat it up against three former knights, and which start. You have to go back to that season in 2024 when KKR won that third title. It was mid start in the playoffs and also the final. And that paved the way for KKR winning that third title. So yeah, he's a champion bowler, and you can see immediately he joined the squad and immediately
he made an impact.
Made an impact. So I think mid start initially against the likes of Ajinkya Rahane. That's a good matchup, I would say. Ajinkya Rahane
And Rahane has struggled.
In Allen, that
If
opening
he
pass
manages
of
to
mid
get
start,
that swing,
if mid start can get you those couple of breakthroughs early on,
Yeah.
this KKR middle order, yes, that Rinku Singh has scored, but still I would say that
very difficult for them to bring over.
exactly.
Now that we're talking about the bowling lineup of DC, we have to keep in mind that there's someone like a Mitchell Stark. You have Lingi Ngidi,
Yes.
but you also have T. Natarajan. Now, has he been impressive? Because, to be very honest, Ashish, he has been giving a lot of runs that we've seen. And personal opinion, I don't feel he's complementing the both bowlers very well. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I also kind of agree to that. I also expected a better outing from T. Natarajan because, especially in the death overs, I think he's more than the middle phase or maybe even more than the power play overs. I think his primary role is to do well in the death overs because of the Yorkers that he has, and we have seen that he has done well in this tournament, especially in death overs. But somehow in this tournament, as you mentioned, I think he has not managed to come good. That has been a concern, and because I can clearly remember the last season DC paid a huge amount for him and they didn't play that much. Injury played a key part in that season, I know. But now in this season, when he is getting those opportunities, he is not making most of it. So I think it is a problem. But again, I think DC really wants to not to play him, they can because they have other options like Mukesh Kumar and everyone. And so they can chip in and they can be a good supporting option for someone like Lungi and Mitchell Stark.
But now that he was mentioning about Mukesh Kumar, what you have to keep in mind is there's someone like an Akib Nabi also.
Yes.
But Nabi, he has not had a very good season so far. So Devashish,
But I have my reservation. I would say that Akim Nabi is more of a red ball. Red ball bowler. Means obviously, and that is where Mukesh Kumar has done well. Whatever limited opportunities he has got. So the ideally, when you look at the top teams like RCB or a Punjab Kings or a Sunrisers, Hyderabad, I'm talking about the top three teams. They have a very fixed bowling attack.
Yes.
They are consistent, but that has not been the case with say the Delhi Capitals.
And they have identified their playing level.
Exactly, they haven't identified the perfect playing level.
There have been a lot of criticisms regarding Karun Nair, Snehashish. A lot of people have been talking about his place in the playing level, especially after those 3 dropped catches against Punjab, and I think that cost them the match. But then again, if you look at his batting, also he has not been very impressive. There's this one tweet that comes up every time he fails to perform, and the tweet basically it was Karun Nair who had tweeted by saying, "Dear cricket, give me one more chance." Now that he is getting so many chances, do you think he's living up to the expectations that he has set for himself?
First thing first, I think this tweet meme should not come. I think it is done. I think previous year it ended. He got the chances. He made a comeback for India. He scored few runs in England. I think it's done. I think considering the form that he showed, I think before that chance, we are talking about, before making a comeback in Team India, he was batting brilliant. There is no doubt about it. He was scoring tons of runs across all the formats in domestic cricket. But considering that you cannot give a chance to a player in the next or following years, you have to see the current form. I don't remember, remembering any knock that I can clearly say that, okay, he has done well in domestic cricket before this tournament or before this edition of IPL. So I think that is why it is very surprising for me also wherever I saw that DC gave chance to someone like Karan Ran. Again, I'm saying there are so many better options who have scored runs and who can be a better options at that position, especially in T20 format. Karun Ran is a very good technically batter, but he is more suited for me, I think, in ODIs or maybe in
That brings up to our discussion is to open the batting with Shaw and get in a David Miller in the middle order.
But then there were a lot of people saying that Nitish Rana should come up the order because he complements KL Rahul very well. What are your thoughts on that?
Can do that. Or yes, absolutely. Or send Nitish Rana to open the batting.
no issue.
No
He,
issue.
he has done for
But you
KKR.
need to have David Miller in that middle order because David Miller brings in a wealth of experience and he can actually take the game deep and he can
Finish.
accelerate and finish games for Delhi Capitals.
Definitely. Now that we are talking about Delhi Capitals, let us shift back to KKR because it's our home team, and deep down in our heart, at least Ami KKR. That is all that I would say. Devashish, what I would ask you is that you have been observing KKR since 2008. The thing is, the fielding definitely has improved. Against SRH, they have taken 8 catches. So how impressive have they been on the field? Because batting and bowling, these things are important, but fielding is also equally important.
Look, especially Rodman Powell, Ajinkya Rahane also.
Oh yes,
Ajinkya Rahane, that high catch.
not easy.
Catching has been Dishant Yagnik, the fielding coach of KKR, has been working a lot with the fielders. And there are talks that he might. There was a talk that rumors that he might be the next fielding coach of Indian team.
Oh,
So that's a huge,
huge thing
if
for
it
him.
does happen. So I think that there's a lot of things that, in fact, I was having a chat with the KKR media manager a couple of days back in the practice session that they had in Arunjat Stadium. A lot of focus was on fielding and high catching. So I think this is one area that players have done really, really well when it comes to catching and fielding. And you need to complement the bowlers because in modern T20 cricket, when scores in excess of 180, 200 are being scored, it's the fielding that complements the bowlers. In that case, I think the KKR's catching has been scored top class.
Now, if I ask you, my personal opinion is that Finn Allen comes in to open for KKR. But in previous years, we have seen Sunil Narine go out. So if I ask you on your judgment, whom would you choose as an opener? Would you want Sunil Narine to come in or would you want Finn Allen to come in?
See, I think it will be very wrong if I say I don't want Finn Allen in my team. I think everybody wants a batter like Finn Allen at the top. I think he is an explosive option. And on his day, he can win you games. I think you were there, I was there, at the semi-final that, he batted.
I missed out.
You missed out, yes. And that knock, oh my God, against South Africa, I think that was a knock I will remember for a long time. But unfortunately, that has not
Do
come.
you think that was just one of two? No,
I think that kind of a
He
knock.
was a
I think
different batter
he has
that
done
day.
nothing ever since that.
I think that day everything was coming
Coming.
on his back.
And he was a different batter. No, he was going out there and charging every bowler.
But see, I think again, I still think that the best possible way to use Sunil Nair as a batter is the opening spot. Just go out there. We are not depending on you. Just go there, play your shots. If you get out on dark, it's okay. If you score 20 or 30 runs quickly, it's okay. We get the start and then other guys can chip in. But I am not saying that going to happen. If that is good, that would have been happen. I think it would have been already. I think one match I think they tried, but again they got back to the normal the playing the opening combination. But I am not saying that change happening. Though I really want to see Sunil as opener, but I am not saying that will happen.
Devashish, I'm going to ask you a very unfair question. Whom would you choose? Ajinkya Rahane as the captain or Akshar Patel as the captain? It's a very unfair question. I mentioned.
You have to go for the practice.
I have to go for
Press conference of you.
I would rather go for Akshay Patel.
Yes.
So he is the current Team India cricketer. Not just he has performed even during the World Cup, T20 World Cup, he has performed.
Yes.
Means IPL he is not firing means as a captain as the toss.
Yes.
Any update on the toss?
Yeah, that is what we're checking.
No, we're just one bit. Yeah, it's 7 now. Let's see.
I think there's nobody talking. But while Snehashish is checking out on the toss, Devashish, you have not answered my question yet.
Yeah, I would rather go with Akshay Patel because on any given day, Ajinkya Rahane, yes, 119 strike rates Shorjani last man. Ajinkya Rahane 119 strike rate, and Ankush Raghuvanshi 125 strike rate. If you look at Ankush Raghuvanshi, the year he made his debut in 2024, his strike rate was around 150, 155. And that strike rate has dropped to 135. So I think clearly Ankush Raghuvanshi, if you are eyeing a spot, if you are vying for a place in the Indian T20 setup, you need to improve your strike rate. Means obviously 135 strike rate will not get you into the Indian team when there's so much of a competition. So let's be honest. And Ajinkya Rahane, obviously, what more can I say? He is trying his level best. He is giving the starts that is required in the power play. But as soon as the power play is getting over, his strike rate is dropping, and that is the biggest concern for KKR. Yes.
Also, KKR has won the toss and opted to bolt first.
So they would rather love to chase. So Delhi Capitals, please post in excess of 200 if you want to make a match of it.
Now, before we get into the playing 11s, I would ask both of you for your predictions. Snehashish, you're already wearing a KKR jersey, so do I need to ask you separately or is the answer very clear?
So they are going for the fourth consecutive win.
Devashi? Devashi?
Obviously, KKR. Any day.
So now that we're getting the playing 11, I just wanted to ask you a little about Ankush Raghuvanshi as a keeper because you've been observing him very closely. And initially, when he came into, when he wore the gloves and when we saw him behind the stumps, it was a little surprising for all of us. But then I think he has been good enough.
He has done a decent job. He has done a decent job behind the wickets, and that adds play variety to the flexibility to the side. It's when you get in an Indian wicket keeper, had you had to go for a overseas wicket keeper in Team Cypher, then you are sacrificing an Indian player. So I think in that way, I think Ankush Raghuvanshi has done a decent job both as a wicket keeper and a bat. But I would rather love to see him improving his strike rate a bit. And so obviously he is one of the top run scorer for KKR so far. But strike rate has been the biggest concern for KKR.
No changes for KKR.
No
As
changes.
I said, yeah, as I said,
No changes for KKR. Bathirana is still not playing today. So the question still
he won't play. He won't play. If KKR wins tonight's game as well, then you have to wait for the next game. Then why he came? Well,
question still remains unanswered.
and he's exploring India. He's exploring India. He has been going to places. Obviously, he's making real. Obviously,
He's enjoying his time.
So, like, I began the show by asking when will MS Dhoni play, when will Bathirana play. I'm closing the show by stating when is Bathirana going to play, when is MS Dhoni going to play.
Okay, DC have made two changes. Mukesh Kumar in
nice.
place of T. Natarajan and Vimpraj in for Kaduna.
Good move. Solid all-rounder.
And the
Vipraj
spinner.
Nigam. And the spinner, Vipraj Nigam, Ashutosh Sharma, Samir Yapi. That's a good core of Indian middle order batters. It's a very good call. And also, when you have a big start left arm, what's the point of getting in another left arm in T. Natarajan? I think that's a very good move. NGD, Mukesh, mid start, and Mukesh Kumar. And then you have a Kuldeep Yadav, Akshar Patel. And also Vipraj Nigam.
Okay, so we'll close the show now. Thank you so much for joining me, Devashish and Snehashish. We'll be back for the post-match show. Please keep on watching Rep Sports. Like, share, and subscribe.